And welcome to another edition of Judgment Day. It's me with the jury, Logan, Raina, joining us today to cast another judgment on another person from Reddit who's asking the world for advice. So, in the Am I the Asshole thread, here's our thesis today. Am I the asshole for not inviting fiance's siblings to the wedding?
Ooh. Interesting.
I gotta tell you, this one I think is pretty obvious, but it is so crazy that I wanted to talk about it. So,
yeah,
I know. Forgive me if it doesn't feel as like morally confusing as some of the other ones have been. But okay, so my fiance. What was the name that you used last time, Logan? You wanted us to use Kennedy, Jeremy. Okay,
Jeremy.
We'll do Kennedy and Jeremy. So, my fiance Jeremy, 34, and I, Kennedy, 28, are getting married in February of next year. And knowing where this goes, it's probably a freaking Valentine's Day wedding.
Oh, cute.
Really? A little on the nose, don't you think?
I would never, but like good for them, you know?
I would never, but so
That's
awesome.
so tacky and disgusting, but good for them.
It's just the worst, but for you, it's great.
But for you, it's good. Sorry, go ahead.
Jeremy and Kennedy have always liked the idea of a child-free wedding and always said, by the way, half of these are about freaking weddings. So just FYI. We've always said that that's what we want. We also are having an open bar, and while we don't plan on being slosh, we can't speak for others. So we just don't think it's the best environment for kids to be in. Plus, parents deserve a night of fun. I like how the way it's written implies that, like, oh my gosh, this wedding has an open bar, as if like 90% of them don't. Like,
yeah,
most weddings have
people
open
are
bars.
going to be drinking.
People are going to be able to have vodka at my wedding. Okay, here we go. Jeremy and Kennedy's first battle was choosing not to have my 7-year-old goddaughter as the flower girl because of our no child policy. Okay.
All right.
My sister was upset at first about her daughter being left out, but finally came around to the idea of a kid-free wedding. Now, my fiance comes from a large family and still has 6 siblings under the age of 18, with the age range between 16 and 9.
Oh, wait, how old is Jeremy again?
Jeremy is 34.
Good for Jeremy's parents.
That is rough for everybody. Jeremy said early on, if we are doing a child-free wedding, we are not making exceptions for anyone. However, when we told his parents the kids weren't invited, his kids' siblings weren't invited, they were quick to snap back and say we were out of line for not including the kids' siblings. We explained ourselves and explained how we wanted them to actually enjoy the night rather than worry about the kids all night. This is kind of a weird thing that she included here, but she says 2 of his siblings are tube fed and nonverbal and do not do good with crowds of people. So I'm not sure if she's implying that 2 of the kids have some sort of ability issue or what, but she just mentioned that, which I don't think really matters in the grand scheme of things here, but I'm reading her post. Jeremy's parents fought on insisting that they had to be there since they're family. They also brought up that his older sister, who just had a baby, needs to bring along her child, which once again, we said no. Oof. So Jeremy has an older sister who just has a baby, and they said no, she can't bring the baby. So Jeremy and Kennedy sent out invites and made sure to list 2 seats on his parents' invitation. Once again, we are at war and being told we are wrong. We've already told many other family members that no children are permitted, and we don't want to look like we are picking and choosing where kids can come. So are we the assholes here? And I'll add, she has an edit, so I'll add this here. Edit. Kennedy is seeing a lot of comments about inviting the kids to the ceremony and not the reception. And while that in a perfect world would be a great compromise, this is a destination wedding. Also, they do have their own care providers for their kids, and they've traveled with the care providers before when they did family vacations, or they just have the older kids help out. It sounds like they want to go the latter for this trip. So it's possible, but they're not having it. Ooh. Where do we start? Where do we start on this?
And you said there's a clear answer here?
I think there's a clear answer.
Okay. Ooh.
I don't want to, I can start with what I think, but I don't want to taint the jury pool, but.
Yeah, don't taint us. Oh.
Raina, do you have any thoughts? Because Logan looks like she's about to have a heart attack on the call.
Well, good for them for making it sticking with no kids, no kids. No kids means no kids. So that, that can be tough. I've been watching a lot of wedding planner TikToks for some reason. My algorithm is like so messed up. I don't know how my algorithm got there, but all these wedding planners tell me, be firm, make sure, RSVP if people are adjusting the RSVP kind of stuff. You need to like nip it in the bud type of stuff. But these two have issues from the jump. Like they do because of the flower girl thing. That was a huge red flag. But if you want child free, then you want child free. Some people are very hardcore about that kind of stuff.
See, I think the addition of like the kids with the feeding tubes and the older kids usually help out. I think that adds on to the stress that bringing all of the kids would bring. Like Jeremy would be getting married and probably have to worry about his younger siblings, not just the ones who need the extra help, but all, however many there were, 5, 6, whatever. That's a lot of young people that he's going to be worrying about at this destination wedding when he's just trying to get married. So
yeah, I mean, I agree with that. The only thing I'll say, like, destination throws a huge wrench in that. But the only thing I'll say about like accessibility as far as like disability, most people would have their situation figured out. Like, I'm speaking in a sense of, it's not the bride's responsibility to like worry about that, because I'm sure this family has it figured out. They have a routine, they have a life, they know how to handle the very specific things with their children. So her concerns are about things she doesn't know and she has no experience with. So, you know what I mean? Like, so that's just coming, her concerns are coming from just a place of not knowing. And I feel like, my uncle had Down syndrome and my brother has autism. So we were able to navigate that stuff and we learned how to deal with it. And it was tough, but it's also stuff that when you deal with disability, other people can have their own ideas and thoughts and judgments, but those families are very strong and they're very, they know what to do. So
they have it figured out.
Yeah, she might be overblown. That part might be overblown in her mind, which is why she felt the need to say that. But she just doesn't know. And some people don't.
Makes sense.
I mean, let me start by saying kid-free weddings are better. I mean, like, I think we're all on the same page. I just DJ'd the wedding I did this Saturday, a beautiful ceremony. And the kids, they had like, I think 20 nieces and nephews. It was so many. I mean, it was like the Duggar family of nieces and nephews. They were there for the ceremony, and then they were like Avatar: The Last Airbender. They were gone. I don't know where. I don't know if a bus picked them up and dropped them at like one of the houses. They weren't there for the cocktail. They weren't there for cocktail. They weren't there for dinner. They weren't there for the reception. And let me tell you, if they had stayed, it would have been chaos. It just would have been. I get it. However, these are his siblings. And I know that a 34-year-old guy is probably not going to be buddy buds besties with his 9-year-old sister or brother. I get that. But it makes me just a little concerned that like you can't, like, I don't know, maybe you can't have a second wedding. Like you can't do the destination wedding. Maybe it's smaller and intimate. It's what you really want. And then you can't come back and have like a celebratory kind of thing with your family. I think that they would understand that. It just doesn't seem like there's enough compromise. And I think this is laying down so many problems that I don't think they care about or they're overlooking. And that's the big problem here, is that you're not inviting half his siblings. The parents are pissed at you. The other part of the fiance's family, they're going to be pissed. And this just sets a bad part of your marriage. I mean, who wants to be like, you know what? I really want my in-laws to hate me. No one is asking for that. At most you're like, please like me. Please like me. And I don't know. I mean, they could, here's the thing. It's their wedding. They could be flexible with that kid policy if they want to. It's not like someone's like, well, you know what? You two, you said no kids, so no kids are coming. And the sister, the older sister, who she's not invited because she has the kid she has to nurse. That again feels like, oh, that's a little icky to me. Like
maybe he just doesn't like his family and he's just using this as an excuse just to
or
get them not to be
she's
there.
a bridezilla, and I don't know. It does seem like they're mutual, though. I will say it does seem like they're both on board with this. So I don't know where to start. This one does feel pretty long. I have a judgment, though. I don't know if you two need to hash it out a little bit more in the jury box before we go to close the case.
I just feel like there's so many layers that it's. See, you were so confident about this one. You're like, we're gonna get in, we're gonna get out. I'm like, oh, there's so much.
You know what? I felt pretty strong about the jump, but it does seem like the things that you guys both brought up, I think, actually are excellent points that they made me reconsider. I'm still pretty sure where I land, but I have wavered a little bit.
I think I have to go with you're the asshole.
Mm-hmm.
I think because again, they're not just random kids, they're his siblings. They are the people who are going to be with him throughout his whole life, probably, you know, like if they get along that well. It's not like they're nieces and nephews and someone's cousin's kid. It's their direct blood. They're there for you. So and they said that their caretaker or something that they've had for years has traveled with them before.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Bring her. Like all's well. So I'm gonna say that, I'm gonna say they're the asshole. With a little bit of the parents are the asshole too. A little bit.
Mm-hmm. Raina, what do you think?
YTA. The asshole. YTBZ, you're the bridezilla.
Oh, got her.
Oh,
Yeah.
sniped.
It's so much to ask for somebody to deny for immediate family.
Yeah.
I don't think he has much to do with his 9-year-old brother sibling. But you know, that's their brother. They want to experience that too. This is what eloping is for, whatever. Just do your destination thing, come back, do whatever. You know, they don't have to, they can do both. You can have both. So
you can still just have someone random officiate something up here, like, you know, back at home to have the illusion of a ceremony to give everyone something. But
yeah, I'm really interested in what Matt says, just because the wedding DJ angle, like.
Well, I think this is definitely like a Marie Antoinette situation. They want to have their cake and eat it too, in the sense that they want to have this kid-free wedding. They want what they want, but then, you know, but then I don't want to be judged. I don't want to have to deal with the consequences of what I want.
Wait, I'm so sorry. Maybe I'm just stupid. A Marie Antoinette, she said, let them eat cake, right?
Oh, then who said let them? I have my cake and let's eat it too. Someone, I thought it was, you know what?
Was that her? No, you might be totally right.
Maybe,
I have no idea.
Either she loves cake and she has many quotes about it, or it's a different thing.
Or she
I don't know. I don't know. I guess I attribute Anyway, it is kind of Marie Antoinette. In a weird way, it is very bourgeois to be like, well, here's what I want, and I don't want the consequences. Truth be told, I don't think the issue for me is, I want to have a kid-free wedding. Yes, that is your right. But at the same time, you have consequences. And if you can't just shrug them off, you have to deal with them. You have to compromise. There's no compromise here. They're not saying, well, let's have a second ceremony at home. That'll be for the whole family. There's no acknowledgement of what the family is saying and reacting to. It's just like, well, that's just what it is. And again, it kind of like the sociology major in me. It's like that I whole quote where it's like, if society can make it, it can unmake it. Like, you guys can set the boundaries here. Like, you don't need to be like, well, it's just a little too late. You know, like they're like JoJo, that song, you know, it's just a little too late, a little too long. Now I can't stay. Like, no, you're not JoJo. You can invite the siblings' kids, you know? So for me, that's why they're the asshole. You know,
I know a bride who's literally inviting some kids and not other kids because she's inviting the kids that, I agree. Because it's like, she's inviting the kids that mean something to her, you know?
That makes sense.
Aunt Becky's sister's nephew, you know? Like, it's like the kids that I want there. So if she does that with, or if they do that with the siblings.
And like if I had an 8-year-old nephew who like I knew would not be on their best behavior, or maybe just didn't do well in large crowds or something, like, yeah, I mean, I might pull my brother, sister aside and be like, well, what should we do? You know, like I don't, because it's my wedding day. Like I don't want to have to deal with, you know, these minor issues, you know, and I get that, but I think that they need to show good faith in some form and make it up to this family. You know, they can stand by having their destination kid-free wedding. That's fine. But you need to do something with your fiance's family. That's why I say you're the asshole. Are we ready for what the thread says?
I'm really excited for this.
The jury.
Reddit is generally like anti-child. So yeah. I feel like.
Yeah. Well, usually Reddit is pro anti-child weddings, but this Reddit thread, they said, you're the asshole.
Dang.
And here's some of the top comments. Your fiance isn't going to have his brothers and sisters at his wedding. There's no way you're not going to look like the assholes to his family with such a draconian child-free policy. You can do whatever you want with your wedding, but his family is definitely going to think you're the asshole, and they're not wrong to feel that way.
Yeah.
Ooh. Actually, the second top comment is no assholes here. Parents are perfectly justified to get upset that their children are not getting to see their older brother get married. You're perfectly justified to restrict your guest list. I guess the real question is whether or not it's worth starting off a relationship on such a bad foot. When one future spouse has 6 brothers and sisters under 18, you really should have foreseen problems with a no child permitted policy. Oof. And then the third one actually says, the third highest rating, you can have a child-free wedding all you want, but don't get mad when a ton of people back out or no show. Sounds like the groom's parents will be some of those people too. So it looks like it's kind of a little split, but definitely leans more asshole. Like this one says, yeah, you're the asshole. Just because you can do something doesn't absolve you from not being a complete jerk, which is another great point. I mean, they can do what they want, but it is kind of assholey. So,
well, also it's like, how close is Jeremy with his whole family? If he knows, like that person said, your parents might not show up to your wedding. Maybe he's like, ooh, also, like maybe they're having a destination wedding for a reason.
He's 34. He has at least one older sibling, 35, 36, 37, who knows? And youngest is 9. Parents, stop. What are you doing?
They're just having fun.
Relax.
Like, how many college funds is that? Oh, I don't know. I can't imagine.
Oh, all those scholarships.
I just don't think it's fair. Like, I don't know. This is maybe a different ethical monologue, but like, you know, a 9-year-old has a sibling that's like 36, 37.
Yeah.
That is just like very Game of Thronesy. I don't like it. You know, you can.
How old would the parents be then? Probably
50s,
like
50s, 60s.
Yikes. I mean, you know, have kids at whatever age. I'm not judging, but
it's more about like the siblings' age range. I just feel like that's a rough one. I just feel like that's just unfair, because then you're gonna have siblings who don't really get to be siblings with each other because of their, I don't know.
And it's not even like you had like one, you know, child that just happened that was, you know, years younger than the other two.
Yeah.
You had multiple. This was on purpose.
Yeah. I just don't.
Crazy. I think, let's judge the parents.
Like, stop having children. They're like, we believe in, you know, abstinence, except we're married. So we just do it all the time. I don't know.
Why not?
Oh, Lordy.
That was a good one.
You know what? That was tougher than I thought. You guys, oh, excuse me. I just had a tomato soup burp. You guys really thought about it. I know. Oh my God. Arena just gave me a look. The judgment from that one. She said, you're the asshole for having tomato soup.
It is Judgment Day. So
I just hate tomato soup. It's just the soup. It has nothing to do with anything else.
I get the Costco one and it's so creamy. It is just
I love
delicious.
I think I have tomato soup in my cupboard right now.
Oh, go have some. What are you doing? Go have some tomato soup.
I know you guys are holding me up.
Well, we've made another judgment and we said what we said and we're going to hold to it. So have a great rest of your day. Peace out.